Okay, in this video, I'm gonna go over the only 10 exercises or the top 10 exercises you need to build a perfect physique. If I had to choose 10 exercises, now bear in mind, this is based on my personal preference, but also based on effectiveness, stimulus to fatigue ratio, the ability for the exercise to incorporate as many muscle fibers as possible, but also a bit of personal preference. But if I had to choose 10 exercises to do for the rest of the time and still pretty much get 90% of my physique's potential, it would be these 10 exercises. So let me get straight into it. So first up is a calf movement, okay? This is because I have shitty calves, right? And if you have shitty calves, that's a top priority for you. Because if you look in the mirror and your calves are literally sticks, but the rest of your body is developed, then that's a problem. So as part of my top 10 movements, I would have a calf raise movement, just because without calves, your physique isn't balanced and you just look kind of goofy. So I would definitely throw in there a seated or a straight-legged calf raise. Either one is fine. All that matters is getting a deep stretch and holding that deep stretch when your calf is under a lot of tension for 3 to 4 seconds. A lot of people, they're just bouncing up and down on the calves. That does nothing, and that's going to do nothing to grow your calves. Slow down the descent, hold the stretch, and squeeze the contraction. Bear that in mind next time you train calves, but that would be my number one, just because calves are a weak point for me, and you do need calves for a balanced physique. Next are quads. Now, a lot of these exercises are going to be legs, because your lower body is much more important for mobility, for longevity, and you hold more muscle on your lower body, right? So you want to be training your lower body. You don't want to just be doing arms and chest for 10 exercises, right? So my personal favorite, okay, for building your quads is going to be hack squat. They're better than barbell squat 100%, better than Smith squat, better than pendulum squat. It's such a stable exercise. You can put all the tension on your quads. It's comfortable. You can get a deep stretch without having pain on your lower back. So not only is it a great muscle builder, but it's very comfortable. It takes out the stability demand that a barbell squat has. So that's my number 2 exercise, hack squats. These are going to target your quads, obviously. Make sure you put your feet close together at the bottom of the pad to isolate the quads, but also you're going to get a bit of glute activation, hamstring activation, adductor activation. It's a compound movement, right? It's going to incorporate a lot of muscles, which is a better bang for your buck than an isolation movement, right? So that's my number 2, right? Number 1 is probably seated calf raise. Number 2 is going to be hack squats. Number 3 is seated hamstring curl, another leg movement. I know, but you have to have big legs. The reason I choose seated hamstring curl over lying hamstring curl is for a simple reason. You can get a way deeper stretch doing the seated hamstring curl than the lying hamstring curl. And that is, as we've talked about before, going to induce stretch-mediated hypertrophy. And as more and more showing up in the literature is, are you getting a deep stretch? Are you doing lengthened partials? Are you holding the stretch in your movement? Now, of course, you can do, single-legged hamstring curls standing up. You can do lying hamstring curls. If I just had to stick to one forever, it would be the seated hamstring curl, and I would get much better growth from that than any other variation. But you have to make sure you're progressively overloading, okay? Remember that. Remember to get stronger week by week. And again, proper form is key for muscle growth, okay? It's all good following these top 10 exercises, make sure you're doing them, but if you're not doing them properly, then nothing's gonna change for you. So make sure, as I said, you're controlling the eccentric, you're leaning forward on the hamstring curl, you're feeling the deep stretch, you're slowing down on the eccentric on your squats, you're holding the stretch on your calf raises, all these things that are gonna get so much more out of the movement than if you were to just go, spam each rep and not really control it. Next is another lower body movement for the glutes. Remember, lower body has much more musculature than your upper body, so you need to prioritize your lower body training for longevity as well, but also for packing on mass. If you're skinny and light, focusing on your upper body is good, but you want to focus on your lower body to gain weight and get bigger, right? Because it has more musculature. And your bunda is a very important body part and a very aesthetic body part. Objectively, right? Pause. I don't mean So hip thrusts are going to build your glutes, okay? They're way better than the reverse sus machine where you're like going like this. That doesn't really do much for you, to be honest. If you want to grow your glutes, you want to be doing your hip thrust. You want to be slowing down, squeezing your glutes at the top. This is going to, again, add to the symmetry of your physique. So make sure to train your glutes. And next exercise number 5, is another lower body exercise. I know, if I had to do this for life, bear in mind for life, these are the ones I choose because, you want to make the most out of each muscle group in your lower body to get as big as possible, add as much muscle as possible. And the next and final leg exercise is going to be a adductor machine. The reason being, so many people neglect this and they wonder why they look like they have small legs just by looking at themselves in the mirror, but it's because you're ignoring the adductor muscles, which is your inner quad, and that's going to make your legs look way bigger. This is another big muscle building machine, the sus machine. Make sure to feel that stretch in your adductors. Make sure you're doing this exercise to optimize and maximize muscle growth. Next is for back. This is my 6th exercise, and it's going to be either assisted pull-up machine or a lat pull down, right? Both are very good. I always alternate between both. You want to have an effective exercise for your lats, for aesthetics. Having wide lats is incredibly important important for aesthetics. And the lat pull down and the assisted pull up machine is a great way to target your lower lats, which is going to make you look way more aesthetic. You know what? I'm going to make this 11, okay? I want to make this a bonus. Another back exercise I want to throw in there is a chest supported seated row for your upper back. This has proved to be incredibly effective for developing overall thickness for your back, making you look bigger. Any chest supported row is fine. Make sure you're pulling your elbows into your armpits and squeezing. Another exercise I'm going to throw in there to make it 11. Next is the lateral raise for your side delts. Another key exercise. Notice how I included a lat pull down / assisted pull up machine and next a lateral raise. In my opinion, these two are the most important exercises for aesthetics, which is why I've included them. So make sure you're doing dumbbell lateral raise or cable lateral raise or machine lateral raise. I don't really want to be specific. Just make sure you're doing a lateral raise. That is the 7th exercise. Next, triceps, okay? My favorite thing to do for triceps is, I'm kind of cheating here. It's kind of like a mechanical drop set using like 2 or 3 variations, but cable rope tricep push downs, you turn around and you do overhead cable rope extensions, and then you do sort of bent over cable rope extensions, and you just do them back to back to back, all to failure. That's what I always do. That's my 8th exercise for developing a cross-on triceps for bigger arms. This will target both the medial, lateral, and long head in one movement. Next is for the chest. It's gonna have to be an incline Smith press, okay? This was hard to choose, right? Some people like chest flies, some people like incline dumbbell. Me, I personally like the incline Smith press. This has produced the most growth for me. You don't really need, that much variation with your chest training. As long as you have a solid upper chest press, that's the most important thing, right? Even more important than having a good chest fly. If I just had to do this incline Smith press for the rest of my life, I would probably build pretty much the same chest that I have now, to be honest. It's all just about training hard to failure and progressively overloading with exercises that work for you. And for me, for chest, that's gonna be the incline Smith press. And remember guys, when you're training your chest, low volume, high intensity, okay? 5-6 sets to failure per workout is plenty. And finally, for biceps, you can't forget about the biceps. It's gonna be machine preacher curl. This has led to the most muscle growth for me in my biceps. The squeeze you get is crazy. The strength curve is really good because it's constant tension on your bicep, unlike dumbbells or cables. Again, proper technique, feeling the stretch, squeezing the contraction, and slowing down on the descent. There you have it. Those are my 10 top exercises that I choose to do for the rest of my life to build my perfect physique. You guys might prefer different exercises, but if you want my opinion on what the best exercise is for almost each body part, it's gonna be this. Just stick to exercises that you enjoy, you progressively overload, you train hard. So anyway, those are my 10, 11 exercises. Recap, it's seated calf raise, hack squat, seated hamstring curl, hip thrusts, adductor machine, lat pull down or assisted pull up machine, upper back, chest supported seated row, lateral raise, tricep push down, drop set to overhead extensions, incline Smith press, and machine preacher bicep curl. Let me know in the comments what I missed. Maybe I've given an L take on one of the exercises. Let me know if you disagree or agree with the exercises that I've chosen. But thank you for watching. Make sure to check out Barbell Apparel, link in the description, and go get your free training program and nutrition plans, link in the description as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.